Gilly's house actually began in 2017. My son Stephen Gilmeister passed away from a drug overdose in 2016 in October, and we decided we wanted to do something to honor his memory. And he had lived in a sober house in Portland, Maine, and loved the living conditions and the camaraderie, and so we decided to open a sober house in his memory, and it's called Gilly's house because all his friends called him Gilly, which is short for Gilmeister. Our mission here is to have men live here who are serious about their road to recovery, and to have them, by the time they leave here, which is up to them, have all the tools necessary to be able to successfully live out in the community.
You started the program in 2017. Did you have the house? How did you acquire the house?
That's a great question, because we just live right down the street from here. And I've passed by this house for the almost 30 years that we've lived here in Wrentham. And we were led to this actually by Jeff Roy, who's the state rep for Franklin, who we had spoken to early on, and he told us to call someone who owned this house and that we should talk to them. And here we are. When we first bought the house, it was pretty empty, and we went through a closet, and in the closet we found a snow globe. So out of anything that was here, we found a snow globe. Well, that was important because when Stephen was little and my husband was traveling, every place that David went, he would bring Stephen home a snow globe. So we have a whole collection, actually they're sitting in the windowsill out in the entryway, of snow globes. But I mean, how crazy a thing to find. So that was a pretty amazing thing. We found out after we actually passed papers, a couple weeks later, Stephen's best friend Kyle came to us. Kyle lived down the street that way, and we lived down the street that way. So Stephen and Kyle would walk back and forth from Kyle's house to our house. And Kyle told us they would stop when they got in front of this house. They would stop in front, because it's so big, they would stop in front of the house and say, wow, if we had all the money in the world, what would we do with this house? So that's an amazing story.
What are your favorite parts about the organization and favorite parts about what goes on here?
My favorite parts are all the people that we meet, because we are more than just a house for 21 men who want to be in recovery. We found when we first started, we had people coming here just to talk about what was going on in their family and just wanted a shoulder to cry on, because they knew this was a safe place to talk, and that I wasn't going to say, wow, you must be a bad parent because of what happened in your life. And those people were amazing people to meet. And we've become a house really of hope and a house of healing for people. When we first opened, the very first weekend that we were here, that we started to strip wallpaper and paint and things like that, we had a family come in who live in Wrentham, and they said, our son just passed away 6 months ago. Can we name a room in his memory? And my husband and I looked at each other and we were like, wow, this is a great idea. And the rooms all honestly got scooped up right away as soon as people heard that. And so every bedroom, it has a different personality based on the people that they're named after. But those parents who did that, who have adopted those rooms, we've all become a family. And we occasionally have, and as a matter of fact, in a few weeks, we'll have a dinner for all of us. We all get together, and it's a chance for people to just be with each other. We're all in the same boat. We laugh, we cry. It's a wonderful, close-knit community of people that feel a kinship because of the tragedies that they've gone through. And by adopting a room in their child's name, it gives them a chance to feel like they can help somebody when they can't help their own child anymore. And that's really what's happened here as far as the support from the greater community. We have constantly have people who want to do something here. And so we have a lot of people make meals. 3 nights a week we have people bring in dinners, whether they make them themselves or they buy them at a restaurant and bring them in. And Saturdays we have people who make sandwiches for the guys, bring those in. We have people who do collections of products for the house, like Tide Pods and 409 or shampoo, deodorant, anything. We make a list that's on our website of all the things that we need, you know, and that changes up as the needs change. And we have a lot of high school kids who will do collections. They have community service that they need to do, so we have them do collections, whether they collect in school or in their neighborhood or within their family, and they do collections of the products that we need at the time. And then they bring them in and they get community service hours for doing that project. Everything that you've seen in here has been donated. All this equipment was donated, all the furniture was donated. Star Petroleum is probably our biggest benefactor. They came here when we first bought the house and looked in the basement at the equipment that we have and what's going on. And Bob Sayre, who's the owner of Star Petroleum, said, "I will give you all the oil you need." So for the years that we've been here, for the almost 8 years that we've been here, they have given us all the oil that we've needed to heat the house for free. That's why I say, when you asked how many people are involved, it's really hard to say. I mean, there's hundreds, thousands. It is a whole town effort, greater than just Wrentham.
Yeah.
It's, you know, all the communities around us. So that said, as a nonprofit, we're always looking for money. We're always fundraising.
Right.
We're always applying for grants. We're always applying for anything that we see out there. So we have a few events every year. One of the events is Summerfest. And Summerfest is really kind of a PR piece for us because it's a free event for families. We have everything from magicians to, it's a fun family day. So we have every inflatable imaginable. We have a foam guy who sprays foam. We have a magician, we have a petting zoo, and then we also have resource tables. We have the fire department comes, police department comes, and then we have resource tables for people who can offer help to people, whether it's addiction services or the sheriff's department is here. And then there's food. The Norfolk Lions Club provides hamburgers and hot dogs to everybody there. And then we also have James from James Breakfast and More. James Arsenault is a huge friend of the house. He gets all the local restaurants to serve some little tidbits to people, and we have voting on it. And then we give a trophy to the best of the fest restaurant that people feel as though had the best food that day. We have an MC, which is Michael Pettit, who's a comedian, local comedian, who's a fabulous friend of the house. And it's just an amazing, fun day. Dunk tank, I can't forget that one. Yeah. But it's a great day for just people to come and have a really good time and enjoy themselves. And it's over at the state school, and it's just a wonderful, wonderful day. We had a family actually come to that who, and I'm gonna cry, who didn't really know where their next meal was coming from. So
yeah,
it was nice that they could be there.
Yeah.
Okay, let's walk down to the kitchen. Oh, who left all these dishes? So, in the corner, there was an old cast iron stove that they had to actually saw into pieces to get it out of here. So, the kitchen we had to take down to the studs and put in. We wanted a family kitchen, and that's really what we have. There's 3 refrigerators, and guys can cook other food whenever they want. I mean, they can certainly bring their own food in, but we have plenty of food. for them to make or that kind of thing. What we tried to create, and we want the guys to call this home, and there are generally, people can stay pretty much as long as they need to. We try and get people to commit to a year once they come in. We've had many people stay for 2 years, and they call this home. There are some people who don't have an alternative. This is home. Gilly's house was a nursing home before it became vacant. So in nursing homes years ago, residents were fed in their rooms. There were no, they're not, now they've become fancier and more community based. And so there was no dining room in the house. So we broke through these 2 rooms, and now we have a dining room, and it's kind of expected when there's a meal in the house that you come down. And a lot of people haven't sat down to have a conversation with people in a long time. It's on the go or something. So it's where we really push for community and connection and conversation, and that's where it takes place easily, is during mealtime. How was your day? What's going on? How was the dentist appointment? All kinds of sort of normal things that you would have conversations about. This is a beautiful garden in the spring and summer and fall, and it was all planted by the United Church of Walpole women. Did it a number of years ago, but it's maintained itself, and it looks good at the right time of year.
Yeah.
So a couple other things that we do, so kind of getting back to the House of Healing, is there are a couple of events that we sponsor. One is we have something called Supper with Siblings. When we first opened, it became apparent to me there were a lot of support groups for parents. There really was nothing for siblings who had lost a sibling. So we started something called Supper with Siblings. It's the 3rd Tuesday of every month. We invite, and it's an open meeting for anybody who wants to come. Who's lost a sibling, they can bring a friend if they want. The other thing that we do is once a year we have something called a Mom's Luncheon. The Mom's Luncheon is for moms who have lost a child in any way. It doesn't matter how the child passed away. And we have a luncheon for 80 women. We've had it now for 6 years. And it's a free luncheon. We bring in speakers. It's meant to be uplifting, if you can say that, for a room full of moms who are grieving. A lot of people are stuck in their grief and find it hard. Some people find it hard to even get out of bed in the morning. Everybody grieves differently, everybody's path is different, but what we try and do is be able to grab something in people that they can realize, something that they can do for others that will help them move forward in their grief. We never say move past it, but we always say move forward. I want to talk a little bit about my son, Stephen. So Stephen grew up here in Wrentham, and he was a very funny kid. He loved to make people laugh. He loved to party. He loved socializing. He had tons of friends. From wherever he went, he collected friends. So whether it was rehab in California, and then all of a sudden he had friends from there, he would do anything for anyone. He would give you the shirt off his back. He would be very proud to be here today.